Hey there, good peeps. Sammy here, and I've got another indie game to show you guys. This time we are looking at a hand-drawn Metroidvania game called DragonBell She. I think it's DragonBell She. I apologise if I'm butchering the name there. Not very good at translating names and games and stuff like that. So apologies, but we'll go with that for now, shall we? We'll go with that for now. DragonBell She. Okay, so one of the things that pulled me into this game instantly was the look and the art style of the game in its hand-drawn style, because it looks really, really great, cutesy and charming to me. So I thought I'd give this a go. I checked it out on Steam and downloaded the demo, and today you're going to be seeing the demo gameplay from yours truly, so you're welcome. This is the demo gameplay, and I hope you like what you see here, guys. I'm going to go into what I like and perhaps think could do with some work on this game, so bear with me while we get there. But before we get there, I just want to point out that it's my job, I consider, to point out some games that you may not have heard of, some indie games that you may not have heard of, and if you like this cause and you want to support this cause, feel free to go ahead and like and subscribe the channel, because it really helps the channel. Really appreciate that, so thank you very much indeed. Okay, before we get any further though, I'm just going to quickly read out the Steam page's synopsis on the game, just to give you a very brief overview on it. So, DragonBell She takes place in an elven fantasy world. A Keelian girl, She, in order to end the war between the dragon's sons and embark on an adventure in the world. The game is a hand-drawn Metroidvania. There's a bit of lost in translation style text in that synopsis on the Steam page, you will see. I'll put a link in the description, by the way, as to where you can find the Steam page, so you can download the demo yourselves and give it a wish list if it's the sort of thing you like. But there's a bit of lost in translation going on there in that synopsis, and you'll find that throughout the demo as well. The game starts you off and it's all in Japanese and you can't actually understand it, so you do have to hit the start menu if you want to see it in English, but it's pretty simple to get the game translated back into English on the menu. Very, very simple to see that, so I did that without any problems. However, I thought the game should probably start you off giving you the choice as you start and not having to go in the menu yourselves and change it manually. That's a little thing that may be ironed out in the future with the full game being released. Speaking of which, we don't actually have a release date on this game yet. It just says 2023, so it's going to be coming out this year, we hope. I'll keep my eyes on it, give it a wish list, and if there's any more demos to play in the near future, I'll give them a go too. So the art style, as I said then, really, really cutesy, hand-drawn animations, hand-drawn art style, looks really, really cool. I do love the environments. It's kind of giving me a very kind of like nature type feel to it, and an emphasis on nature. You spend the whole of the demo climbing up this big tree. I don't know too much about the story apart from what I just told you in that synopsis we read from the Steam page, but you spend the entire time of the demo climbing up some tree, going in caves, fighting lots of different kinds of enemies. Some of them, to start with, are kind of like bug type or mushroom type enemies, but the more you progress in the demo, you'll see other kinds. There'll be like dudes with spears, you know, throwing spears at you and charging at you with weapons and stuff like that. And there's a couple of boss fights too, which is nice to see. I like the fact that there are boss enemies in this kind of game. I love the bosses in Hollow Knight, and so every time I see a boss in a game like this, I get excited that it's going to be an epic fight. And they were pretty good. Not on the same level as Hollow Knight, but they were pretty good and pretty fun too. I think it's fair to point out that DragonBell offers partial controller support, as it said on the Steam page. I'm not sure what it can't handle in terms of the controller. I used an Xbox controller to play through this demo and found it pretty solid. I found the controls pretty solid. There was one small thing that didn't work, and that's when you have to interact with something, like maybe something in the scenery. It says up, you know, press up to interact with it, which I did, and that didn't work with the stick, with the joystick. I had to press up on the D-pad to do that, which I found a little bit strange. Maybe, again, you know, that might be ironed out in the future with the full game being released, and I feel that games like this, I find most comfortable playing with a controller. I'm sure many people agree with that. You can play with a keyboard if you prefer, but I prefer playing this with a controller, so hopefully little things like that will be ironed out going forward. But it wasn't a massive problem to me. It just felt a bit strange that you couldn't use up on the control stick, and you had to use the D-pad for that. But anyway, moving on. In terms of the soundtrack in the demo, I found it really, really good, to be fair, in most places. And what I mean by that is, it starts you off and the music's really, really nice. It's like a calming, kind of relaxing type of music in the background. And then, but in some areas in the demo, there's no music at all. It just suddenly sort of cuts out. It's kind of weirdly. Yeah, I feel like that needs a bit of work. If you know, when the game is fully fleshed out and everything in its full state, maybe that needs a bit of work. But it just felt a bit weird that it sometimes just cuts out to nothing. But apart from that, I think the music in the game has a lot of potential to be really, really great. You know, I look at games like Ori and Hollow Knight being pretty much the pinnacle of recent Metroidvanias, and they're kind of the games that new games like this kind of sort of look towards and lean towards in terms of inspiration. And so when that gets worked out, I think we'll have a really, really great soundtrack in this game. Your character has the ability to control something called the Ouroboros. Basically, that kind of acts as like an entity. It's kind of that floating blue eye thing that floats beside you throughout the demo. It's kind of an entity that sort of controls abilities, if you like. So if you keep hold of RB on your Xbox controller, it will sort of quickly shift towards something, and it can latch onto enemies or things in the background to make you sort of give you a boost and jump. So you'll be needing to use that throughout most of the game for different reasons. I feel the demo, it kind of acted more towards kind of trying to boost you up higher levels of ground. So that was pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of the entity in Ori that sort of floats beside you and acts as your weapons and stuff like that. So I think inspiration-wise, it took a bit from Ori there, which was really cool. Speaking of abilities, I managed to find an ability where you keep hold of B to open up your sort of ability wheel and then select your ability. And the one that I got in this demo allowed me to sort of plant a seed, and it grew like something to heal me, so a healing ability in effect. And in the top left corner, you'll see the big white bar is my health bar, but underneath that you'll see like 3 green seeds, and every time you use an ability from that wheel, it takes one of those seeds up, obviously. Underneath the character's profile picture on the top left, we'll call it, you'll see like a sort of a bluey white glowing circle with a number next to it, and that is your currency, I believe. So you can go to shops during the game and buy new abilities or health or stuff like that. And it's nice to see that there's going to be many abilities to use. There was a dash ability I got as well, where I press the right trigger to dash in the air or whatnot to cover more ground. Just like Hollow Knight, it uses the same button as Hollow Knight, I believe, which is really cool because Hollow Knight's controls were flawless in my opinion, and it's the gold standard in terms of controlling a Metroidvania. So it's nice to see games like this taking inspiration like that and using the similar kind of control setup, because it works. It really works for games like this, so it's nice to see. The dialogue between the main character and the Ouroboros and other characters in the demo is good. It's good to follow along with. It's nice to see they're fleshing out a full story with this game, but I feel just like the English translation of those dialogue parts needs a bit of work, but it's not off-putting. You know, it doesn't bother me that much. It's just like it probably could do with a bit more work just to smoothen it up and make it more readable for us English reading people. But apart from that, it's nice to see that they're fleshing it out with a full story here, and I look forward to seeing more of it. I do hope they work on the translation a bit, but like I said, it's not off-putting. So yeah, don't be off-put by that. So like in most, or if not all Metroidvanias these days, expect there to be many places to go to, you know, secret rooms to find, lots of abilities to get, places you can't get to yet because you need a certain upgrade or ability in the future, and then backtrack to these areas to then progress through them. Many boss fights you'll find. It's a really, really cute art style. Really love the hand-drawn art going on. There's dialogue, there's a fully fleshed out story here. Lots of banter between your main character and the Ouroboros. Characters to love and hate. There's boss fights. There's lots of different kinds of AI. I loved some of the backdrop areas where you can see lots of the hand-drawn trees and nature in the background. It has a full emphasis on nature. Like I said before, you plant seeds to grow and regenerate health with that. There's going to be more of that kind of thing. Lots more abilities to get where you'll be sort of planting them and using their abilities to progress forward. It's really cool. It's got a lot of potential, I feel, and music-wise as well. The music was really, really calm and relaxing and nice, and was really nice to listen to as I was playing through the game. So I'm looking forward to seeing what else they have to bring to the table. There's just a few things to work out, you know, iron out the translation a little bit for English speakers and listeners. iron out the parts where there's no music playing in the background at all. I think that just needs beefing up a little bit. Apart from that, I think the game has a lot of potential. It controls really well. It looks really great. And I'm looking forward to seeing more on it, really. I'm going to stick it on my wish list. And if there's another demo to play, I'll be sure to play along with that as well and see how far they've come. Like I said, there's no actual release date on the game so far. But feel free to check out the game on Steam. Like I said, there's going to be a link in the description where you can find the demo yourselves, download it, play through it yourselves. Let me know what you think of the demo, by the way, in the comments if you can, because I'd be interested to hear your thoughts and where you think the game has its strengths and maybe weaknesses. I'd be interested to see. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of the video, so I just want to end off by saying thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope you enjoy it, and I'll catch you next time for another indie game. Take care of yourselves and have a great day. Hey good peeps, thanks so much for watching this video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like what you see, and also catch me live on Twitch every Sunday, Tuesday and every other Friday, 8 PM UK time. I'll see you there. Back to the video.